Hello and welcome to Your Broken Galaxy. I am Broken, and today I'm answering the question, what if Sebulba was the chosen one? This question was asked by ChaiPop HQ Official 7180. Thank you for the recommendation. If you guys would like to hear my thoughts on why I pick some suggestions for videos, listen to what I have to say after the scenario in this video today. So, Qui-Gon Jinn has just taken Anakin's blood test, and Obi-Wan has announced that his midichlorians are off the scale, and Qui-Gon's begun to think that he might be the chosen one. The next day, Anakin has a big old pod race. He is flying around canyons and dodging debris, just horribly violent and dangerous. Perfect place for a 9-year-old. As Anakin comes to the final stretch, Sebulba and he are vying for first place, but Sebulba is just barely able to get out in front. He hits the pedal, slams it forward, and wins, which of course means that Qui-Gon has lost everything. Anakin is still alive, but the Queen's ship, all their money, Anakin's pod racer, the group is just destitute on Tatooine. So Qui-Gon has given over all of the possessions from Padme's traveling surface, and believe me, they are furious at him because of all this. And then he goes to see Sebulba, and he says, How are you able to defeat the boy? And Sebulba says, the kid's a loser. What are you going to do, cry about it? And Qui-Gon says, it's not possible, is it? That you're the chosen one? And Sebulba says, dude, get out of my face. So then Qui-Gon rushes forward and takes a blood sample, and Sebulba is like, hey man, you just stabbed me with that needle. And so he calls Obi-Wan and says, Obi-Wan, I need you to scan this sample. And Obi-Wan says, all right, that's all well and good, but in case you forgot, the blood scanning equipment, which was on the ship, is something that you lost with all of your reckless gambling. And Qui-Gon says, right, okay, well, let's find a blood scanning location. So they go all around town, and they finally are able to find a little doctor place, get the blood scanning equipment, but the devices on Tatooine aren't set up to scan for midichlorians. So Qui-Gon says, okay, I guess we can just all get jobs, and in time we'll be able to earn money to get passage to Coruscant. And Obi-Wan says, maybe, but you know the Queen and her chief of security already left. They sold like all of their clothes, and the handmaiden sold the jewelry they were wearing and everything. Because instead of engaging in highly risky and downright self-destructive gambling, the Nubians decided that they needed to get their queen back so she could save their homeworld, self-sacrificially, kind of like what the Jedi are supposed to do. Now you know what? It's just me, you, and Jar Jar. And Qui-Gon looks at Jar Jar and says, great. So that night they sleep out on the sands of Tatooine, and let me tell you, Jar Jar just about doesn't make it. His amphibian nature on the lush, beautiful, and watery world of Naboo does not help him thrive in the desert. So the next day, they all get jobs, and Qui-Gon says, you know what, screw this. And then he starts to beg on the street, because as a beggar, he can just ask people for money and then use the Force to manipulate them into giving it to him. After 2 days, they have enough for the three of them to get to Coruscant. While they are waiting around in the spaceport lobby, they look to see on the news, on a TV screen, that Watto had been horribly butchered and that the Nubian ship was destroyed by a red laser sword-wielding man in black. But the economy class starts boarding, so they all have to leave, and they put that little bit of information out of their minds. Qui and Obi appear before the Jedi Council, and Yoda says, done well, you have, Master Qui-Gon. To which Obi-Wan says, I'm sorry, what? And Yoda continues, to Coruscant, Queen Amidala came, presented her case to the Senate she has. Safe you have kept her. Thank you, Master, Qui-Gon says, as Obi-Wan just looks on in utter confusion at the complete lack of accountability. I believe I have found a vergence in the Force. A Dug pod racer. When Obi-Wan and I arrived on Coruscant, we tested his blood and found out that his midichlorian count was over 21,000. I want to train him in the Force. I believe he is the chosen one. How old is this Dug? Yaddle asked. I don't know, actually. He's an adult, that's for sure. He has servant girls and have been pod racing for years, and I'm pretty sure that I saw him sabotage several other pod racers, leading to their untimely demise. Think not, I do, said Yoda. A Padawan you already have. Obi-Wan is ready for the trials, Qui-Gon insists. I will train the Dug. Trying to be polite, was I? No, I was saying by mentioning your Padawan. More clear, perhaps, I should be. That's what I've been telling you for years, Plo says under his breath. Qui-Gon, you can't train the Dug, Mace insists. So Qui-Gon is like, very well, I will train him then. And the council just face palm simultaneously, all 12 of them, palm to face. Qui-Gon leaves, flies back to Tatooine to find Sebulba. Little does he know that Sebulba has been training with Darth Maul, and that he's been starting to use a lightsaber and the Force. Maul has a plan to overthrow Sidious with Sebulba as his own apprentice. So when Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan find Maul and Sebulba training in an abandoned hangar, Qui-Gon is like, Sebulba, let me train you. I know there's still good in you. And Sebulba says, actually, I don't personally believe in good. I don't think there's such a thing as an absolute morality, and that we're all left to the whims and wills of ourselves and others in a dispassionate, uncaring universe. The merely incidental reality that the Force exists and can be manipulated by individuals is not something from which I think one can derive moral imperatives. They simply can't be inferred by an unspeaking Force. And Maul says, you make me so proud. Now go and end the Jedi. To which Sebulba turns to Maul and stabs him right in the face. Master Jedi, Sebulba says, I'm new to this whole Force thing. I assumed that the two of you would be able to defeat me. This guy told me his master was Sheev Palpatine. I want you to have that information. He wanted me to help him overthrow this Palpatine guy. I don't want to overthrow some senator from some planet I've never even been to. I just want to use my cool new Force powers to win pod races and become really stinking rich. So I'm just going to go and do that. You guys feel free to do with that information that I gave you whatever you will. And then Sebulba gets in his pod and races off. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, left standing there a little bit confused, end up retrieving the body of Maul and his spaceship. They present their findings to the Jedi. Sheev's office is raided, which ends up leading to a months-long investigation that results in the revelation of hundreds of communications with various individuals, including extensive interaction with the Trade Federation Viceroy Newt Gunray. Nubian political scandals erupt all over the place from the revelation. Palpatine and Amidala are both removed from office. Palpatine flees from the law and hides out for the rest of his life, having failed to enact Sith vengeance, and Anakin and his mom live a generally happy life after being set free when Watto passes away, and Anakin finding success and wealth as a pod racer. Well, that is my video for today. I am grateful that you spent time watching. I had mentioned that I was going to talk just a little bit about how I select video ideas from the comments section. Now, of course, most of the videos I have made are my own ideas, but I have been reaching out to you guys to get your ideas, and you have some good ones. But here are some of the things that make up a good idea. First off, it shouldn't be like super long. If you have already written a story in your own mind, please do that on your own, but don't give me like 3 paragraphs on what I should write. Give me a title, and with that title, if it sounds funny, if I can, this is the kind of first criteria for me, is if I immediately have an idea on something I could do with that title that I think is funny, there's a really good chance that I'm gonna want to do it. I have a backlog. Usually I take screenshots of your guys' recommendations if I like them, and I have it saved in a file on my computer, and every now and again when I can't think of an idea, I'll open up that file and I'll just look at a bunch of these comments that you guys have given, and then I'll make the video based on some of the past stuff. So there's a lot of ideas you guys have given that I plan to make videos on at some point, but it's all about if I'm kind of feeling it. So keep the suggestions short. A great way to write it is if you're thinking of the title of the YouTube video that you want me to make. What if blank happened? What if blank did blank? That'll make me much more likely to pick up on it. But sometimes you guys just have funny ideas or say other things that I think of as a video, and you didn't even mean it as a recommendation. So it's really kind of hit or miss with some of this stuff. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and all that garbage.